Hi there, Wycliffe Barrett. X-Plane Dedicated today is the third part of the Toliss A321 tutorial, where we go from cruise all the way down to the ground at Manchester Airport. You'll see me program the MCDU with all the approach information and also landing at Manchester. I'm going to do an ILS approach, but in the future, when you've learned a little bit more about the aircraft, you'll be able to do RNAV approaches, visual approaches and radio VOR DME approaches as well. But ILS approach, Mercy 1 Alpha into Manchester. See you in a moment. So we're going to start our approach into Manchester, and the first thing we need to do is check on the charts. So I've got the charts up here for runway 23. It's an ILS approach, Cat 2 or Cat 3 ILS DME approach, either one of those. You'll notice that at the far end where it says 232, the heading, you've got this kind of loop, teardrop loop. Well, you don't fly this approach like that, because what this suggests is that you come over Manchester, over the MCT, and then fly out and around the loop, but you don't. You come in off Mercy 1 Alpha, and you have to be at 3,500 feet to capture at D 10 miles. Okay, so that's distance 10 miles. So 3,500 feet. Decision height here is, and I did work this out, I think it's 249 feet. No, sorry, 349 feet. There we are. So you have to be at decision height of 349 feet. And I'm just checking the weather before inputting the data into the MCDU. So we need the QNH, the wind and flaps. No, not flaps. We need QNH, temperature, wind and decision height. So put the decision height over there, 249. We've got the QNH as 1026. Wind is variable at 6 knots. So with it being variable, I can go in on the preferred runway, which is 23. But let me tell you that it did change between inputting the data now, which was almost at top of descent, and actually getting a lot closer. It all changed. But in the meantime, I put my arrival in for ILS 23 right, and I was quite happy with that. So I set up the aircraft, and was on the approach here, and I've already put the descent in for 3,500 feet, so put that in at top of climb. The aircraft will just follow that down, as you can see here. I'm just checking through the primary flight display and the navigation display. You can see the route in there to Manchester. Now where I've got my cursor there, that is really a sharp turn, so I may vector myself slightly. But as I said, the weather did change, and all of a sudden it became runway 05, which is slightly different. As you can see, still a Mercy 1 Alpha arrival, but I come back on myself to the final approach fix into Manchester. So I had to make some adjustments. I made the adjustments in the MCDU, but also I needed to check the chart for runway 05. So you can see I've got the chart open here. Zoom in a little bit, and the immediate difference is that it's a 3,000 foot capture, so I needed to change that down to 3,000 feet. I've done it there, and now of course my flight profile is all different, so I need to check that I'm on the descent profile, and you can see the light blue dot there underneath the altitude. It's actually below, so I wasn't actually in my descent profile. I was in the speed profile, but not in descent profile, but it's getting in there slowly, and very slowly that light blue dot will move up until it's perfect. So you can see here, just checking through a few things once again, my route, to ensure that everything's okay. And in fact, actually the route onto runway 05 is straight in once you've done that adjustment there. Anyway, just checking things once again. I'm still not in the descent profile, but we're getting there. It's moving ever so slowly up, and once the blue dot is in the gate there, we'll be fine, and we're on the descent profile. So not very far to go really. It's just around about maybe 20 track miles or so. Plenty of time to get that descent down to that 3000. And if you look now on the primary flight display, you can see that the light blue dot is bang in the middle of the descent gate, the profile gate as it's called. I'm in the speed gate on the left hand side, and we've got QNH as standard. We need to adjust the QNH slightly for Manchester. Trying to remember, I think it actually went up to 1027. I can't quite remember, but we'll soon see that anyway as we approach. So putting the lights on, get the lights on now, so preparing the aircraft, doing a cabin check as well, and make sure everything is right for the approach. So we're about to turn right onto a base leg, I suppose you could call it, and just checking once again, seatbelt signs are on, yep, checking the engine management, and spoilers are now armed, so arm the spoilers. Whoops, a bit tricky, got to make sure you, once you pulled that lever up, that you click off kind of thing. Alright, we're going to make the turn now onto base leg, and all the time you're monitoring the aircraft, monitoring your systems, and making sure that everything is going according to plan, going the way that you want it to go, okay? So, yep, speed profile, everything's really looking good. I've just engaged some flaps, okay? It's a flap 3 landing. That's what I was showing in the MCDU, and we just got this final few miles before we turn left onto the 05 heading. The Airbus A321, beautiful aircraft, flies so well, absolutely marvellous. And what I will be doing on that final approach as we come down, we'll get down to about 1,000 feet, and I'll disengage the autopilots and just let the aircraft descend. Don't forget, this is a fly-by-wire aircraft, so you don't have to worry about trimming or anything. Just checking the weather, making sure the wind is as it was. And as I was saying, it's a fly-by-wire aircraft, so it just descends literally on its own. Once you've got it, once it's all set up and it's clean for that approach, at 1,000 feet, I will disengage autopilots, and it will just go down to the runway. Might need some minor adjustments in case there's wind or anything, but we'll see. So you can see me turning left here now onto my final approach fix for a runway 05. All the time doing your scans, checking that everything's okay. We're on QNH now 1017, so it had changed slightly. As we make the left hand turn there, just close those down. Got those kind of two waypoints there, and theoretically the aircraft is supposed to fly in between them, but once it's on approach it will just automatically line up. Now, unlike an Airbus, unlike a Boeing aircraft, the buttons that you need to press are along the glare shield. They go along it from left to right as opposed up and down. So you need to activate the LS button, which is underneath the QNH knob. So LS, and if you want, you can press a localizer, LOC, but it's not necessary, because once you've turned, if you press the approach button, then the aircraft will go into approach mode. And as you can see now, we're descending, the glide slope is alive, lateral navigation is locked, and the glide slope is alive, and we're descending down the glide slope now. So gear down, flaps are extended as you can see, and medium brake is set, so we're good. So just waiting for that 1,000 feet. When I get down to the 1,000 feet, I will disengage the autopilots. I'm just turning the volume back up. I kept the volume quiet throughout the whole thing so you could actually hear what I was saying rather than having to fight to hear what I say over the engines, but I've just turned the sound up a little bit for myself. so I can hear it as I come into land. The sound on the A321 is very, very good indeed. So we've got the runways in sight. 23 right on the 05 right. On the right hand side we're going on 05 left. Check, see, you're always checking things, landing gears down, everything's right. Speed, of course, so it's as I say, flap 3 landed, so flap 3 is engaged. The aircraft is slowing down to meet the constraint, and we're descending very, very nicely now. And as I approach that 1,000 feet, you can see that I had my finger on the button there ready to disengage autopilot. You'll see me disengage that and also cancel the master caution light as well. There we go, autopilot disengaged, master caution cancelled. There we go, and the aircraft is mine. So I've got my hand on the side stick. The aircraft is descending nicely on itself. We've got 2 white, 2 red, lateral and vertical indications showing that it's going to be a nice landing. We're approaching 25 left. That is the RAAS system coming into play. External view here as we come in for 05 left. I did say 25 left, I meant 05 left, apologies. There we are. I've got to be careful at the trees, about the trees here at the runway, and I think you just see an aircraft taxiing off. That was Traffic Global. I forgot that I had it on. But you just see an aircraft taxiing off as I come in over the trees. So that aircraft is obviously coming on the wrong runway. Traffic Global's very good, but sometimes it gets it very wrong. Here we are. Oops, a little bit of a wobble there from the wind. And we retard. And touchdown. Very nicely done. Auto brakes are on. 80 knots. Down to manual braking. Auto brakes disengaged. And there we are. Manchester Airport. So, I hope you got all of that. It's just a case of taxiing to the gate now and cleaning the aircraft up. So we can turn the APU on as we taxi towards the gate. Oops, just stopping there a moment. Just waiting for ground to let me know where I'm going. Yep. I should have actually come straight off the runway. That pause is because if you brake and you're using FM car as I am, it will pause as FM card loads in. I don't use it, I didn't use it here because I knew where I was going. As we see, here we are, Manchester Airport. And I really hope you found the video useful, because the Airbus is a very different aircraft. It's nothing like a Boeing aircraft. In some senses it's easier, but in others some people do not like the fact that the computer has total control of the aircraft. You can take control yourself, but Airbus doesn't particularly like it. It much prefers to fly on its computers. So here we are, pulling on to stand 44 at Manchester. It's probably the wrong stand for a little aircraft, but I don't care. There we go. Well, so that's the full tutorial flight. I hope you found it useful. If you want to ask any questions, please answer them in the comments below, and I will try and answer those questions. As I say, I hope you found it useful. I enjoyed creating these videos for you, a series of 3 videos. I may go on to do something like an RNAV approach in the near future, or ILS DME NDB approach. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. Anyway, as always, my name is Wycliffe Barrett. This is Explained Dedicated. If you haven't got the Toliss, I highly suggest that you do, especially at the moment, because I believe there's a sale on due to the situation. Alright, take care. We'll see you soon. Cheerio.